Shah. I am an instructor for the subject Computer Organization and Architecture. In this subject, we have started Unit 9, that is Memory Organization. In this unit, we are going to see today the topic that is cache memory. So, let me start with the topic. If the active portion of the program and the data are placed in a fast small memory, the average memory access time can be reduced, thus reducing the total execution of the program. Such a fast memory is known as a cache memory. It is placed between CPU and main memory. As we have seen in this block diagram, that is placed between the main memory and CPU, that is directly connected with the main memory. The cache memory access time is less than the access time of the main memory by the factor of 5 to 10. The cache is the fastest component in the memory hierarchy and approaches the speed of the CPU component. So, the fundamental idea of the cache organization is that by keeping the most frequently accessed instruction and data in the fast cache memory, the average memory access time will approaches to the access time of the cache. When the CPU needs to access the memory, the cache is examined. If the word found in the cache, it is read from that fast memory, and if the word addressed by the CPU is not found in the cache, the main memory is accessed to read the word. A block of the word containing the one just accessed is then transferred from the main memory to the cache memory. The block size may vary from 1 word to about 16 words adjacent to the one just accessed. In this manner, some data are transferred to the cache so that future reference to the memory find the required word in the cache memory. So, the performance of the cache memory is frequently measured in terms of the quantity known as the heat ratio. When CPU refers to the memory and finds the word in the cache, it is said to produce a heat. If the word is not found in the cache, it is in a main memory, then it counts as the miss. The ratio of the number of hits divided by the total CPU reference to the memory, that is hit plus miss, that is known as the heat ratio. The heat ratio is the best measured experimentally by running representative programs in the computer and measuring the number of the hits and miss during the given interval of the time. The heat ratio is of 0.9 and the higher have been reported. So that means overall of 100 times, of 90 times you can access this data from the cache. Next we will see the basic characteristic of the cache memory is its fast access time. Therefore, a very little or no time must be wasted when searching for the word in the cache. The transformation of the data from the main memory to the cache memory is referred as a mapping process. Three types of the mapping procedures are of the practical interest when considering the organization of the cache memory, and these three types are the associative memory, associative mapping, direct mapping, and the set associative mapping. So we will see this mapping process in detail. For this example, here we have main memory of the 32K cross 12. That means it has a total 32K locations to be addressed, and each location is containing of the 12 bit. And cache memory of 512 cross 12. That means it has a cache of location 512. These two are connected with the CPU. So, we will see how we can access this cache memory and main memory. For each and every word stored in the cache, there is a duplicate copy in the main memory. And the CPU communicates with both of this memory. It first sends a 50-bit address to the cache. If there is a read, the CPU accepts the 12-bit data from that cache. If there is a miss, the CPU reads the word from the main memory and the word is then transferred to the cache memory. So let me see how we can use this associative mapping. First, the fastest and the most flexible cache organization use an associative memory. This organization is shown over here in this figure. Here the content of the cache memory is shown. It contains the address location as well as the data, and this address field can be of associative memory kind of. Okay, so this address can be of associative memory. The associative memory stores both the address and the content of that memory word. That this permits any location in the cache to store any word from the main memory. The diagram shows the three words presently stored in the cache. The address value of 15-bit is shown as a 5-digit octal number, and its corresponding 12-bit word is shown as a 4-bit or 4-digit octal number. So each and every address that is of 5 octal number and its content that is of 4 octal number is stored in the cache memory. So our total content of one location of the your cache will be 5 plus 4 octal number, that is 9 octal number, and each octal number is of 3 bit. That means it contains 27 bits at particular one place. So let me see how it will work. A CPU address of 15 bit is placed in the argument register, and the associative memory is searched for the matching of the address. If the address is found, the corresponding 12-bit data is read from that memory and sent to the CPU. If no match occurs, the main memory is accessed for the word, and the address data pair is then transferred to the associative cache memory also. If the cache is full, the address data pair must be displaced to make the room for the pair that needed and not presently in the cache. So we can replace this. The decision as to what pair is replaced is determined from the replacement algorithm that the designer chosen for the cache. A simple procedure to replace the cell of the cache is round robin order. Whenever a new word is requested from the main memory, we constitute a first in first out replacement policy. So by this way, this content is going to be replaced in your set associative manner. So this is the simplest type of mapping. Next, we will see the direct mapping. The associative memories are expensive as compared to the random access memory because of the added logic associated with each of the cell. So instead of using that associative mapping, we can use this direct mapping. In this direct mapping, we are also considering that it has a same construction, that our main memory is of 32K cross 12 and the cache memory is of 512 cross 12. So here this cache memory will have address of 9-bit because 2 raised to 9 is equals to 512. So our cache memory's address will be of 9-bit. The address of the main memory will be of 15 bits. Okay, so our actual address will be of 15-bit, and that is going to be mapped with your main memory and the cache memory, which is having a 9-bit address. So how it will work, let us see. The CPU address that is of 15-bit is divided into two fields. The 9 least significant bits constitutes the index field and the remaining 6 bits form the tag field. The figure shows the main memory needs the address that includes both the tag and the index bit, and the number of bits in the index field is equal to the number of address bits required to access the cache memory. For general case, we can say that if there is a 2 raised to k words in the cache memory and 2 raised to n words in the main memory, then the n bits memory address is divided into two fields, that is of k bit for the index field and n minus k bits for the tag field. So here our tag will be of 6 bits and index field will be of 9 bits. The direct mapping cache organization uses this n bit address to access the main memory and the k bits index to access the cache. So how mapping this will be done, let me see. The internal organization of the word in the cache memory is as shown in this figure. Each word in the cache consists of the data word and its associated tag. When the new word is first brought to the cache, its tag bits are stored alongside with these data bits. So this is like this. This is your main memory, and when this content is stored into cache, this content is stored with its tag. For example, if you have content at location 00000 as a 1220, while storing it into a cache, it is going to be stored at index location 000, that is its least significant 9 bits of your main address, and it is stored as a tag and after that data. So for that location tag is 00, so first tag 00 is stored and then its data, that is 1220 is stored. If we consider another example, that is of 02777, and if you want to store that data into cache, it can be done as it is going to be stored at location 777 in the cache and with the tag value of 02 first stored and after that tag your data. So your tag will be 02 is stored at location 777 first and then your data, that is 6710. So by this way you can store the data or you can map the data into the cache memory. Now when the CPU generates a memory request, the index field is used for the address to access the cache. The tag field of that CPU is compared with the tag in the word read from the cache. If two tags matches, there is the hit and the desired data word is in a cache. If there is no match, there is a miss and the required word is read from the main memory. It is then stored in the cache together with the new tag replacing the previous value. This disadvantage of this direct mapping is that this hit ratio can be dropped considerably if two or more words whose address have the same index but the different tags are accessed rapidly. Okay, so this is the disadvantage. So let me see with one example. The word that address 0 is presently stored in the cache at index 000 with tag value 00 and data as of 1220. Suppose that CPU now wants to access the word at address location 02000. For this location, index value will be 000 and tag value will be 02. So when it is want to access this data, first it is accessed from the cache. So when in cache this index 000 is matched, the cache tag will be 00. But here for our address the tag is 02, which means that your tag is not matching. So here your data cannot be accessed from the cache, so it required to be accessed from the main memory. Therefore the main memory is accessed and the data word 5670 is transferred to the CPU, and also this word is stored at the index location 000 with the new tag, that is 02. Okay, so by this way you can replace the data for different tags. Next we will see the set associative mapping. It was mentioned previously that the disadvantage of the direct mapping is that the two words with the same index in the address but with the different tag values cannot be reside in the cache memory at the same time. So, a third type of cache organization known as a set associative mapping is improvement over the direct mapping organization in that each word of the cache can store two or more words of the memory under the same index value or same index address. Each data word is stored together with its tag and the number of tag data items in one word of the cache is said to form a set. So it is known as a set associative mapping. For example, this is like this. This is the structure. At the index 00, you can store tag 01 and also 02. That means you can store the content of location 01000 and also 02000. Similarly for 02777 and 00777. So, each index address refers to the two data words and their associative tags. Each tag requires a 6-bit and the data would be of 12-bit. So, word length will be 2 times the 6 plus 2. 6 for the tag and 12 for the data. So, total word length for each and every index will be of 36 bit. The index address can be of 9 bits. Can accommodate 512 words and each word is of 36 bits. So our size of the cache will be 512 cross 36 bits. It can accommodate 1024 words of the main memory since each word of the cache contains the two data words. In general, a set associative cache of size k will accommodate k words of the main memory in each word of the cache. So we can represent it like this in set associative mapping. The words stored at the address 0100 and 0200 of the main memory are stored at the same index 000. Similarly for the 777, when the CPU generates a memory request, the index value of the address is used to access the cache. The tag field of the CPU address is then compared with the both of the tag in the cache to determine if it match occurs. If the comparison logic is done by the associative search of the tag in the set similar to the associative memory search, thus we have used here name as a set associative memory. So we are using some sets and also associative memory. The hit ratio will improve as the size increase because of the more words with the same index but the different tag can reside in the cache. However, the increasing in the set size increases the number of bits in the word of the cache and require more complex comparison logic. So we can use by this way. When a miss occurs, the set associative cache and the set is full, it is necessary to replace one of the tag item with the new value. The most common replacement algorithm used are the random replacement or first in first out or least recently used. You can use any of this algorithm. With the random replacement policy, the control chooses the one tag data item for the replacement at the random. In the FIFO replacement, it selects the replacement for the item that has been set for the longest. And the LRU algorithm selects the replacement, the item that has been least recently used by the CPU. So both the FIFO and LRU can be implemented while adding a few extra bits in each word of the cache. So by this way we can map this set associative mapping. Next we will see how to write data into cache, that is known as a writing into cache. That can be done by two methods. First method is write through method. This is the simple and most commonly used procedure to update the main memory with the every memory write operation with the cache memory being updated in parallel. If the content the word at the specified address. This method has the advantage that the main memory always contains the same data as the cache. So after each and every change in the cache memory, the main memory is also updated. The characteristic is important in this system with the direct memory access transfer. It ensures that the data resides in the main memory are valid at all the time, so that I/O device communicate through DMA would receive the most recent data that updated. Okay, second method is the write back method. In this method, the only cache location is updated during the write operation, and the location is then marked by a flag, so that later when the word is removed from the cache, it is copied into main memory. The reason for the write back method is that during time a word resides in the cache, it may update it several times. And however, as long as word remains in the cache, it doesn't matter whether the copy in the main memory is out of date, since the request from the for the word are fulfilled from the cache memory. So it is only when the word displaced from the cache that an accurate copy is needed, rewritten into a memory. Analytical result indicates that the number of memory writes in a typical program ranges between 10 to 30% of the total reference to the memory. So by this way, we can use this method of write back or write through method for writing or for updating the data into cache as well as into main. Okay. So we are ending our today's session over here. If you have any query, then you can contact me.